Greetings, Voyagers. Well, I have a disturbing story that I need to tell. It's difficult to talk about these things, but as a van dweller, if you are a fellow van dweller, or even if you're not, you should hear this story. 2 weeks ago, I was parked right here in this exact same spot, about the same time of day as now. I had the side door. I was lying here just watching videos on my smartphone, having a snack, minding my own business. I had the side door partially open like this, just to let some air in because it was a hot day. We're parked in the shade. It's a nice shady spot. So all of a sudden I heard this woman's voice say, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And for just an instant I thought, is somebody actually concerned for our well-being? So I pushed the door open. Standing there is a woman, white woman, probably in her late 20s, early 30s. And so I opened the door, I looked at her, I said, "No, we're fine, thanks." And she said, "Just wanted to make sure that you weren't two creepy guys with little kids in the back." And I said, "Oh, gee, thanks. Bye now." And I shut the door. And as I expected, about 10 minutes later, police came up. Police officer came up to the door. I had the doorbell. I was just, once again, lying here, having a snack, watching videos. And the police officer came up. And he was polite. He was respectful. He didn't have an attitude. He said, "How you doing?" And I said, "We're doing fine." I said, "Did that woman call?" He said, "I didn't get the story. What went on down here?" And I told him the story. And I said, "Where the hell does she get off talking to me like that?" And he said, "Well, he's trying to play it down." He said, "Well, some people have different ideas about, living." I said, "Well, she could keep her ideas to herself. Who the hell does she think she is?" And just then, he got a call on his radio from the dispatcher. He had obviously called in ahead, and the dispatcher told him my name and address, and he said to me, "Is that you? Is that who you are?" I said, "Yes, that's me." And so he said to the dispatcher, he said, "Well, there's nothing going on down here. He's just sitting here having a snack and hanging out." He said, "Was there anything else besides the suspicious person?" And the dispatcher said no. He said, "All right, I'm clear here." So I said, what, because we live in a van, we're child molesters?" And he said, "Well, just some people get up." I said, yeah. And he said, "So what are you watching on videos?" I said, "I was watching Bill Maher." He said, "Oh, politically incorrect?" I said, "No, that was his old program. He's now called Real Time, but he's just as nasty." So he said, "Okay." He said, "Well, I can see there's nothing going on down here. There's no parking violations. So you have a nice day." I said, "Thank you, and thanks for checking." And he left. So he was pretty cool about it. I've never had any bad experiences with Salem cops having negative attitudes. I had a lot of that in Lynn, in the ghetto where we came out of last year. So let me ask you, what kind of a person walks up to a total stranger in their car, in their vehicle, and calls them a creepy child molester? A creep. That's the kind of person who does that. A creep. That woman was projecting her personality onto us. So, I've wrestled with this question about being a van dweller on the streets around here and interactions with the police. And I've never been able to decide whether I should be completely off the radar and under the police's presence, out of their consciousness. But deep down inside, I knew that's not going to happen. I knew that sooner or later living in a van would bring me into contact with the local constabulary in one way or another. For whatever reason or another, it would happen. So, given the tenor of this officer's demeanor, I've decided that it's probably better that the cops do know who I am, who we are, and what we're doing. I have roots in this community. I've lived in the city of Salem for more than 40 years. My kids grew up here. My grandkids are growing up here. We are deeply rooted in this community. My ex-wife's family is all here. My kids have cousins all over the place. So, and in fact, one of my kids' cousins is a Salem police officer. So, I think it's probably best in my circumstances. This may not work for everybody else, but I think it's probably better that the cops know who we are, and that we're not causing trouble. We're not molesting children. We're not throwing trash around, making loud noises or starting fights with people. We're not drinking or anything down here. We mind our own business. We keep to ourselves, and we don't bother anybody. And I think it's best that they know that, because then they could be on your side in a dispute like this. Because I'm telling you, if that woman ever approaches me again, I'm not going to hesitate to pepper spray. And I'm legally allowed to do that. I probably had legal grounds to pepper spray her 2 weeks ago when that happened. In Massachusetts, maybe different in other states, but in Massachusetts, the law with pepper spray is if you perceive that your life is in danger, then you have the right to use it. And if I see that woman, if she ever approaches me again, I am definitely going to feel like I'm in danger, and I'll spray her without any warning. I'll just let her have it. I am 67 years old. My son is disabled. We are among the most vulnerable members of society. I cannot afford to take chances with wackos out on the street. I'll take my chances with a courtroom. I'm not going to take any chances with crazy people out on the street. Angry white trash is what she was. Creepy, angry white trash. No, sir. I have this pepper spray for personal protection, and I intend to use it if I need to. And if that doesn't stop them, I have other methods, which I will not discuss for security reasons.